Never do I have more important ideas than in the 10 seconds that I'm muted before we start talking while we're waiting on the music. I have all the things I want to say, always right, during that 10-second
Mm.
window, Chris. Hi, my name's Shawn. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka The Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter. And this is Avatar The Last Podcasters, where we start off all of our shows with 10 seconds of Shawn thinking of important things. It's like being in the shower when you think of important things and you can't write them down
Yeah.
because you're in a shower.
In this leadership program, man, they went over good, this really good sentence of like, your brain is for coming up with ideas and not keeping them. So when you come up with a good idea, you need to write it down.
You have to. if
Yeah.
I don't write it down instantly, and I mean pretty much instantly, it's gone. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna have like a bigger story, but you actually just had a very functional, important piece of advice. And everybody who's listening, write that down. Write down the fact that all of your good ideas need written down. Chris, somebody came to us with a pretty good idea, I would say. He wrote it down in
Ooh.
text. It's our buddy Theo. Sent us a message, and I think you had already kind of been aware of it. I had not been, but there's a Toph. I think it's literally just called Toph, an Avatar fan film, and it is a
Yes.
fan film of pretty impressive quality that was put on YouTube a week or three ago, perhaps a week or
A
three
week
ago.
ago, I believe
A
so.
week ago, excellent. I think when I watched it or when Theo sent it to us, it had been up for like 3 or 4 days. Yeah, so about a
Yeah.
week ago, and we just decided, hey, we have kind of a tight schedule this week. Always looking for opportunities for different little short one-offs. Mostly, what we're doing is procrastinating on doing the finale of book 4, and so we thought it would be a pretty cool idea to watch this little fan film. Not really gonna review it because it's a fan film, but we want to pitch it, talk about it, and I mean, you definitely should watch it. That's our ultimate review. Is you should go check it out. It's really well done. But Chris was wondering if you wanted to take us through this lovely little YouTube production.
Yeah, I will review it, but in like wait, okay, so my standards for fan films are different, of course, than studio produced led films. And and so it's not the same critiques, things like that. Also, I'm not having the same expectations like, oh, I'm expecting this actress to 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 look like Toph, to sound like Toph, to be the right representation for Toph in this world and everything. And so bear that in mind. But
Cool.
that being said, I thought it was a really solid fan film. For some reason, I am more open to fan films than I am with um, with
Fan fiction.
fan fiction.
I can
I
explain
like.
why I think both of us feel that way.
Okay,
Right?
please explain.
This is gonna sound really bad to anybody who writes things, and I am not trying to trash on people. But to take an idea, to take a fan fiction type idea or a fan idea to this extreme, to this level of investment and time, I mean, and to help us visualize it, it's just a next level effort. It's the difference between writing a script and producing a movie, is what it amounts to. So, I would agree entirely. And when I'm watching a fan film, when I'm thinking about watching it for a different level or a different reason, I think it's not so much comparing it to other things as like or judging like its casting or whatever, so much as like did it get across a specific feeling or point? Um, did it did a fan manage to reproduce this on no budget and get and translate a very specific feeling or point they were trying to make to me about something in this case that I love? And I'd say that's what I'm looking for, and I'd say this one hits it on the head.
Hmm. I'm still not sure. I'm not sure that's the reason for me. Because there are certain I think, well made fan fiction series. I won't name them because I will sound like I am putting them down. And some of them like take place like after Legend of Korra. For some reason, I'm just not into those. Like,
Is it because we
I
don't
don't know.
like
It's
reading words?
maybe that's it.
Maybe.
Maybe because it feels less. This feels almost like a love letter,
Okay.
if you will. And I feel like fan fiction almost feels like a oh, the writers did terrible on this, and I want to fix it by doing this, or I want to change this up and this up. And to
The
me, it
writers
almost
forgot that Zuko and Katara were supposed to be together, and I need to correct it.
yeah, maybe that's the reason why I am a lot more open to fan films because I feel like I feel and I can see the love for the series in these. So anyway, so on to this. So this Toph made Avatar fan film is really just like it takes really just Toph's little backstory with her learning earthbending from the Badger moles, and it weirdly, I say weirdly, more like impressive. That's really what I'm wanting to say. It impressively takes that more like 30-second little clip and spans it to 7 minutes. Um, Now, if this film was within a larger story, to me it would be like too long. It's like, all right, you don't need 7 minutes to tell this story. Like they told it in 30 seconds in the show. But within the confines of it being its own short film, I feel like it was the appropriate amount of time and everything. um, Things I really liked about it. I think the actress playing Toph, her name is Harley Quinn. Her last name is
Oh,
Queen,
that's
apparently.
fun.
Yeah. I thought she did a really good job. Like for a for a child, one thing, child actors aren't sometimes they're not that great.
That's all. It's
Child,
already a different like apples to oranges. We got a child actor.
yeah, and like so, child actors generally aren't that great. Fan film actors aren't nearly as good as usually. I'm saying aren't nearly as good as like actors and big budget productions, things like that. But I would put this child actress up against any actor that I thought she did a really good job. Um, She there's two I think moments where she did really good, just like the when um, there's a scene where she just like Toph in the show when she first meets the Bajamol, she like does a little laugh and tickle. I say tickle, but that was done really sincerely. And there's a moment where she does her earth bending, which her eyes sort of change color. And I don't know, that does a good job of showing that like this whole new world or the whole new sense have been opened up to her, but not in like a oh cool kind of way, more like a oh you see the world differently kind of way. Some people latch on to this moment at the end where she smirks. For some reason, that doesn't like that's a nice little smirk, but that wasn't that wasn't the nuanced part to me. Um, anyway, so yeah, the fan film pretty much covers Toph kind of running away, getting lost through the woods and through a cave and getting saved by Badger Mole. The difference here between this and the show is that it shows more of her getting lost and things in the woods, and it shows her finding her way out and finding her mother. So that's kind of what was expanded about.
I think well, first of all, I agree with you on all fronts. Like a really nice job of taking a high impact like 30-second clip and turning it into like a small story. That yeah, there's no other medium in which we would need 7 minutes of this, but they
Yeah,
picked it, they told it, they delivered it. I think my favorite part. So it's I wasn't I don't know how to, again I don't know how to say any of this without sounding too critical for what it is. Like I wasn't like blown
yeah.
away with any of the acting or the costumes or anything, except for the one thing I thought is they had a really good camera and they did a really good job of picking and tying together their shots, like the literal filming.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah, I
there's a
thought that
shot. There's a
like
shot where Toph. Sorry, keep going.
what I guess in short is that's kind of like as an aspiring film creator or whatever, that is the thing you can control. It's like, okay, you got to
Mm,
work with a
mm.
child actor and a limited CG budget because you're not a, I don't know who you're getting to do your high end CG work or whatever. It's like, so all that pretty understandable. But the part that they can control, like their filming, their framing, their camera, like I thought they knocked that part out of the park. I was extremely impressed uh, with that more than anything else that I was watching. Just actual film
Yeah,
frame by frame.
yeah, yeah. There was a shot that Toph was like up against the wall, right? And you're not, and it's pretty closed in, right? And then it pans over to this other part of the wall where it opens up, and even as a viewer, you're still not sure what it is. I don't know, there's just some really good cinematography there with how the gates opened and how it sort of, I don't know, the outside sort of creeps in. I don't know if that was done purposely to kind of show,
I don't know either, but it worked.
you know, yeah. But oh yeah, I thought yeah, that was pretty well shot and
Yeah.
DP'd, if you will.
That's just
Um,
like I said, controlling whatever what that artist in particular, controlling what he could control, what
yeah,
was within his sphere of control. That being said, again, it's not like the costumes, the acting was all good, at least for what you expect. What little like kind of, I don't know if it's CG, but just like what little animation type things they had in there. When
yeah.
she did the her I always forget what to call it, the sonic sense, the
Seismic sense.
seismic sense. Thank you,
Come on,
sonic sense.
Sean.
Sonic sense.
If that was a
Sonic
trivia
sense.
question,
We all have sonic sense. We hear things. Um, all those things like they were fine, and all the tone was very well matched and everything. But uh,
yeah, I would
worth
say that weirdly, like, okay, so I'll bring in my Shyamalan two moments here. One thing, I'm not the type
oh,
of
don't do
person
that.
that likes to. I'm not. I'm not nearly as negative as I feel like as I used to be on the last Airbender movie, but like it's and also I kind of hate sometimes when people are too hyperbolic about fan films. They're like, oh, this is, or not even just fan films. It'll be like so. RDC World One has this YouTube channel, which is a great YouTube. I love their YouTube channel, but they have this series called Avatar: The Last Hoodbender, and he's like, he's like, and the elements are like boxing, guns, sneak attacks, stealing, and then, anyway, and like so there's like bending sort of in it, and then people be like, oh, this is like better than the movie. Well, they say the effects are better than the movie. I do think the actual YouTube clips and the series is better.
More
Weirdly,
entertaining than the
actually, it's more
movie.
entertaining. Yes, but people be like, "Oh man, this CG is probably better than in the Avatar movie." I'm like, you guys are being hyperbolic there. Like, like I sure I want to crap all over the M Night Shyamalan movie as much as anybody, but I just want to keep things in perspective and keep them
You
real.
you
That being
know like
said,
sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
I was saying that being said, I do think the acting in this is better than probably any of the acting in the last Airbender film besides the acting done by dang, I forgot his name, Shaw, who plays Iroh, and I can't think of his name from Slumdog Millionaire.
Are you the objective geek, Chris? Chris Topher?
Jeez,
Are you?
oh my gosh, the acting is so horrible. But are you the Avatar?
And that guy's in other movies, and I'm sure he's a nice guy. I shouldn't be that mean to him, but that
That's
guy's
Tell. That's his name.
yeah, that guy's in other stuff.
Actually, he does a good job in a couple different scenes in it. Like I get the Zuko-ness of I would have
Oh
I
no,
wouldn't
not
have
Zuko.
mind.
This the Soka, quote unquote
Oh
Soka.
my
That
gosh.
guy.
Oh
That
yeah, yeah,
guy's
yeah.
in
That
other
guy's terrible.
movies.
He was in Twilight.
Yes,
Like Jas. I don't
Twilight.
know why I
Oh,
remember that his
I
name
mean,
was
okay, but
Jasper in
he was in
Twilight.
Twilight and this, so I guess that does kind of make sense. Never mind.
It doesn't. Kristen
What?
Stewart is actually a great actress,
But
and
she wasn't
Robert
in the
Pattinson.
first. It is like universally well accepted that in the first Twilight, she's kind of painful to watch. She got
I
better.
don't remember.
She got like I watch those movies with my wife. I'm not happy about it, but I do it. She got better. The first one,
Hmm.
she is borderline painful to watch
Hmm.
on screen. But good for her.
Yeah.
She improved. Maybe the directors improved
Um.
too. All of you have. Chris, what
Yeah.
I got? I have I don't know why I have to throw this out there, but when you talk about people like hyperbolizing things, like just a little too much, I think I'm Heather and I are in this like really big craft beer kick, like because we both like dark beers, and Heather likes trying things. I'm like, all right, we go buy things, we'll try them together. It's fun, it's bonding, whatever. Something about craft beer people who brew their own beer, and they'll always have like one buddy they know is like, man, his beer is better than the real deal or whatever. You try that beer, and you're like, I can't talk to this person anymore because this is gonna come up. This is not true,
uh,
and I don't know what it is about that community. If you craft your own beer and it's very good, that's great. Just be honest with yourself.
yeah. Um, oh, there's something else I was about to say about M. Night Shyamalan. I watched like the behind the scenes of this fan film and the director slash writer slash producer and everything. He was saying that the scenes of Toph like catching her clothes on wilderness stuff. He was like, I took that straight from The Village because there's you ever seen The Village?
Nope. But I'm
Okay,
familiar with the concept of the giant chicken monsters. Yes.
I am not familiar with
Right? Is that the
that.
village?
I don't
Right.
know.
The
It's
bad
been a
things
while since
are
I've seen The
just like
Village.
big lizard-legged chicken type. They're
What?
no different movie. Let me. All right, you keep talking. I'm gonna look it up.
Anyway, The Village is like so the village is like there's this village of people, and they're all like dressed like 1600 type of maybe like 1800, 1700 type of stuff, like Red Riding Hood type of deal. Anyway, the main character, she's blind in it, and something happens in the village, like something attacks, and they're like, "Listen, you need to go out to find someone to help us, and only you can do it." And she's blind. She's like, "Oh, well, why the heck? Why me?" Anyway, she goes out to try and find help for something. Um, and it turns out the big twist is that this isn't taking place in the 1600s. It's actually taking place in modern times. They sent her out to get help because she's blind. She wouldn't be able to tell anyone anything when. No, I haven't seen the movie in a while, but that was the real monsters were like the people trying within the village, trying to scare the people within the village to stay in the village because the village was safe, type of deal. Um, anyway, point
Yeah,
being
but the monsters look pretty
is
terrible.
yeah, point being is that there's a scene in it where the main character gets like goes through uh trees and gets clothes stuck in things, and he was inspired by that. He probably likes the village, which hey, if he does, great for
Good.
him. It's just weird
Good.
seeing hearing that
That like
similarities just in
full
Night Shyamalan.
circle. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Uh, I vaguely remember liking the village well enough, other than just the monsters in quotations, just being very like cheap and out of place, feeling like it's just not the monsters. But I
Mhm.
liked the twist and everything there. I like vaguely remember liking it. Um, and up to that point, I didn't have a ton of reason to not like Shyamalan, because before that, the only one I would have seen would have been the Bruce Willis one, which was good.
Well, there's two of them.
Uh,
There's
uh,
Unbreakable and there's Sixth Sense.
I presume I had seen The Sixth Sense at that time, and if not, just aware of it culturally, like it was such a cultural
Yeah.
phenomenon. Yes, I'd even forgotten that was Shyamalan, to be honest. So up at
The
that
thing is,
point, I had no reason not to trust him, I guess, because I liked The Village well
yeah,
enough.
I did not. The thing is, I love like half in my Shyamalan movies, and then the other, and then the another quarter or so I hate and I'll never watch again. And then there's like two other films I'm just like, yeah, I had a fine time watching them. Like The Visit, I thought was kind of fine. Um,
I wasn't on the visit train. Even like the two, I keep thinking, I can't think of
The Happening,
Unbreakable,
Unbreakable,
and
Sixth
then
Sense,
what's the
and
next
then
two that
there's
came like
Signs.
a decade later in that
So
series?
his movies are Signs, Unbreakable. Wait, no, Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs, and then I think The Village, and then he did The Happening, and then he did um that movie with Jaden Smith, Earth something, and then he did The Happening. Oh, I already said that. And then
Well,
Lady in the Water is terrible. Oh my
that's a
gosh,
terrible
Lady in the
movie.
Water.
What are the two in
And then
the
The
Unbreakable
Village.
trilogy though?
Oh, um,
The ones you kind of like.
uh, I love those movies. Oh my God, there's Mr. Glass, or just it's just called Glass. That was the most recent one, and then before that was Split.
Like those two, I did kind of like them, but in a totally different way than I liked Unbreakable. But it felt really hard. Like it felt like M Night Shyamalan trying really hard to get back on the map with like a certain vibe or type of movie. And so the whole time I was watching it, there was still like this weird essence of like this movie is just trying to trying really hard to like fit within the current scope of movies, the current landscape of movies.
And then I recently watched Old,
I'm
which
not familiar with
was
that one.
fine. It just came. It's the most recent movie. It was like, I don't know. I kind of hated the twist, or at least I hated what happened. I guess. I don't know. It was a fun enough watch. I watched it while I was doing some action figure repainting, and so I'm not the
Like
biggest
half
critic
watching.
when I need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Anyway, we've been talking for 20 minutes now, Sean. I told you
About a film
that.
that was 7 minutes long. Hey, but again, I'm not really reviewing it, but at a minimum, our review is this thing deserves a watch. If you,
You should
again,
go watch it.
it's really not fan fiction. It is just a slightly elongated interpretation of a real thing in a story that you love. And go watch it. And if you liked it, give that guy a thumbs
Yeah.
up. He deserves that guy or girl and or his friends and family thumbs up or whatever because I think it's
Yes.
well earned. It's called.
Oh, and the actress does actually sound like Toph. Like if you listen to her in some behind the scenes things, like she actually sounds like Toph. But she didn't have any dialogue in this. I would have liked more
Just from
dialogue.
like
But
you
they,
got like a scream and right from
yeah,
the actress you got a scream.
yeah,
I think that's it.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, go watch it. Thanks for watching this or listening to this. My name's Shawn. That's my friend Chris Ford, aka the Objective Geek of YouTube and Twitter. Next week, we promise that we're maybe possibly gonna do a regular episode. Possibly, most likely. We will see you then. Thank you so much. Are you beatboxing?
No, I'm
Uh,
much better beatboxer than that.
I
Not to say I'm a good one.
I thought so. I believed in you. It felt like your effort was half-hearted.